Hey everyone, welcome back to Addie P's Real Estate Tea, where today I just want to quickly delve into the April 2022 market report for the Lehigh Valley and a smidgen of the national numbers as well too. Now before I get into this video, as you also graciously do, please hit that thumbs up button if you like what you hear. Also comment below if you want some more content or just to say, hey, I love the video, or hey, do better, whatever the case may be. Also subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos on this channel. And you already know, if you're watching your girl from Instagram, drop her a heart and show her some love. All right. Now, although we are still in a pretty fiery market in regard to multiple offers and so forth, and I hope you guys can hear me. I have my AC going because it is warm, as you know what, in here. But needless to say, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. But multiple offers we're still seeing, but we are starting to see some of the competitive bidding cooling down a bit. And I think that a lot of that, well, not I think, but what I see is a lot of that is attributed to the rising interest rates. Now, according to Freddie Mac, in April, mortgage rates exceeded 5%, which several videos ago, when I was discussing predictions for 2022, a lot of industry experts that I had referenced in the video were stating, oh, you know, no more than 4.5. Well, now we're over 5, and who's to say what that's going to be in the coming months? We're not even at midway part of the year yet. So that definitely is putting a damper on a lot of the hot housing market that we were seeing up until this point. Although it's still, there's still, that rager's still going. So definitely from a selling perspective, you still have plenty of options out there. There are still buyers out there. So that's definitely not an issue here in that retrospect. But I did state in my videos leading up to this one that we were probably going to see some cooling going on around mid part of the year, and that's what seems to be happening. Now, that cooling is not 2008 cooling, which we'll touch upon that briefly here in just a moment, but that cooling is what may be in what we would consider a normal housing market. Not this one where you're selling your firstborn child to have a home. So needless to say, you know, Freddie Mac predicted or stated that that's been the highest interest rate level since 2011. So we are probably going to see another rate hike. Some experts say no, but I think that we're definitely due for another one, and hopefully no more after that, but we'll see. Now, that has caused a decline in the buyer pool, naturally so. Once interest rates rise, that's knocking some folks out of purchasing, or maybe purchasing as much house as what they had originally intended to purchase. Now, because of this decline, it's stating that mortgage applications decline and refi applications or refinancing applications decline as well. In fact, refi applications were down 70% in comparison to April of 2021. So it's definitely, you know, not the best news. But again, if you're comparing this craziness of a market that we've had for a year and a half, 2 years now, in comparison to this, it's really not that bad at all. So now with these increased costs, they're saying that buyers are starting to explore smaller, less expensive areas to live in lieu of larger cities where there may be more expense and so forth. You may get more bang for your buck if you're moving to a small town, more rural type setting, opposed to staying in a larger city and so forth. So that's part of the buyer shift that this market is seeing now because of these rising interest rates and costs and so forth. Buyers are starting to crunch their numbers again and say, well, we could live out here and pay a little bit less than staying here in a more populated area, a city, or a town where it's a little bit more expensive. Now, while it's predicted for us to see an increase in foreclosures and short sales, there was a recent article in our a local newspaper here by a foreclosure agent that does a lot of work here in our area, and he said that we are due to see a flood of foreclosures. I would say that it may look like a flood of foreclosures, but again, going back to what we've just been seeing, it's really not, and it definitely is not going to be 2008. That I don't believe. From what I've seen and so forth, I don't think that we are in 2008 territory. Will there be buying opportunities on the investment end because of some foreclosure and short sale activities? Absolutely. There definitely will be some buying opportunities for those who wish to invest, those who are maybe looking for another home and willing to do some work, whatever the case may be, whatever fits you. But yes, I do believe that we will see an uptick in foreclosure and short sale activity. However, I think that uptick is more so attributed to those folks that unfortunately did not have an opportunity to maybe take advantage of some home retention programs during the pandemic, or their pandemic home retention program that they were involved in has since ran out, and they have unfortunately maybe not been in the position to, keep their home or, get gainful employment in order to catch up on payment, whatever the situation may be. I think that that's the main culprit of this whole foreclosure, potential home foreclosure surge. But I don't see this flood of foreclosures like we saw in 2008. I think that what we will see, it's going to look a little foreign because we've spent so much time away from foreclosure activity that seeing it now again is kind of like, oh, what is this? But it's not anything astronomical. So don't get too excited for that $4 house that's 5 bedrooms, swimming pool in the backyard. It's not going to happen. And especially the way that prices are increasing, and that is something that has not changed. So sellers that are listening, or if you're thinking about selling your home, and now is still a good time to get your house on the market. There is still not a lot of competition. We are down numbers wise for inventory by 27.1% here in the Lehigh Valley. Month supply was down by 20%. And nationally, a month supply was down to 2 months. Now, days on the market down by 26.3%, which is all good news, all good things for those who are entering the market to list their home. So you are still, as long as you are priced accordingly, you will more than likely get over asking. In fact, that number, I believe, for April was sellers were getting over 100% of what they were asking for, which means multiple offer situation and more than none, and they were getting well over asking. So we are still seeing that type of market here. So although Some of these numbers, again, we're going to see that cooling period. We are still seeing the competitive bidding and so forth. Instead of 10 offers, it may be 6 offers or 7 offers, which is still great. Anything over 10, in my humble opinion, I don't see how, as a seller, you can decide on that. When I hear some agents say, "Oh, we got 23 offers," or we got, at some point, again, in my opinion, I'm just saying, you need to, hey, we have enough here. This is where we're stopping. Let's review. But it's all up to your seller as well too. If your seller wants to page through 40 something offers, so be it. But anyway, moving on to the numbers here. New listings down. So like I said, there's still not that competitive amount of listings on the market to really have any cause of concern for it to shift to a 2008 direction. And the new listings were down by 9.2%. I already said inventory levels were down by 27.1%. Month supply was down by 20% to 0.8 months. And nationally, that was down to 2 months. Days on market down 26.3%. Pending sales were down by 2.8%. Nationally, they were down by 1.2%. Now that makes this, on a national level, a 5-month straight drop for pending home sales. So again, just a direct correlation to some of this cooling that we're talking about, aka returning to a more normal market of buying and selling. But we still have not actually hit that normal status yet. Median sales price up by 13.7% to $280,000 here in the Lehigh Valley. Nationally, that increased by 15% from 2021 to $373,000 or $373,500. So that is a lot of money for some folks. And again, bouncing back to housing affordability, this is really causing a damper with some folks who may have been saving up, and now they're looking like, wow, I don't have the amount of money that I need for a down payment. Now I know from a political level, there was some talk there for a while about some first-time home buyer programs for down payment assistance and so forth. I know locally here for first-time home buyers through the county, there are some programs. At least I know in Northampton County there's a program through an organization called NHS. But needless to say, you take, I guess, a couple of classes or an online course, just kind of walking you through the steps of first-time home buying. And they will offer you maybe some grant assistance or a small micro loan to help with those closing costs. But needless to say, there are some programs, which that's something that you would want to check with your lender about, or your real estate agent who you're working with, to ask if there are any kind of first-time home buyer assistance programs to kind of help with that. But ultimately, it is definitely still a tough market out here. So no 5 bedrooms with that in-ground pool, McMansion for $100. That's not happening, right? Okay, so let's count our blessings that we may see some normalcy here. A lot of you folks buyers that have been weathering the storm during the pandemic and post-pandemic, and who still unfortunately may not have had a house. This may be your lucky year in doing so, hopefully these interest rates will not put a damper on that activity. All right, well, that is all that I have for today. I'm hoping to get back on here more often to discuss some more services that I offer, one of them being short sale negotiation. So hopefully I'll be able to do a video soon to discuss all of that, and of course keep y'all posted on all this juicy real estate tea. All right, well, until the next video, you all have a blessed one. Take care.